Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Guys on Gaffr. We are back after a few weeks, and it's the international break, and I think we're probably all enjoying a bit of a fantasy break at the moment. And it's good to have David back with us today after missing the last one. So yeah, good to see you, David, and Abhishek is with us as normal. And yeah, how are you guys enjoying the international break so far?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been refreshing, to be honest, because we get to watch other games or other type of sports that we love, like the Formula One. For the first time, I get to see the championship or Open Championship, I guess, in golf. After talking to some of my WhatsApp group friends, so it was fun, refreshing, and also got to watch some European qualify. I think playoff matches are going on
Yeah, that's right.
for the
Yeah.
World Cup. Yeah, it was nice to see Italy knocked out once again. I mean,
That was both hilarious and slightly painful, thinking that we couldn't beat that team in the final of the Euros.
and out of all people, out of all teams, North Macedonia beat them.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. What's the stat? It's like they haven't played a World Cup knockout game since winning it in
Yeah,
2006.
Yeah,
yeah.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, they do. They have qualified, but gone out. I think on the group stage. Last time they qualified, next back-to-back World Cups, they haven't qualified
Yeah,
so far.
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Crazy
it was
stuff.
something like New Zealand or something that knocked them out last time. What's with them? I don't know.
I don't feel too sorry for Italian fans though, because they won the Euros, so you know.
Yeah,
With the type of talent they have, it's such a shame that they're missing the World Cup
Yeah, that'd be weird
because
without.
mm.
lots of nice, especially since the likes of Pirlo, De Rossi retired. Lots of nice new midfielders, good midfielders have come up through the ranks. So really unfortunate to see that they seem to have not go over the line in terms of World Cups. In Euros, they qualified smoothly with I think 10 wins in their group for qualification. But when it comes to the crunch matches, they seem to lose their way somehow.
It's very strange, very very strange. Well, how
Yeah.
how are you finding the international break, David?
Yeah, so just about to say like they should get some players from the championship. Maybe they will get in then.
Yeah.
Just make Dominic Solanke change nationality or something, and then you're nice.
But
Yeah, I'm enjoying the break as well. Yeah, it's nice to not have too many deadlines at the moment. Even though I managed to actually miss the goal scoring challenge deadline,
uh,
of course. But yeah, the fantasy content I'm getting now is like Elite Serie Norway and like MLS. So yeah, it's nice,
Hmm.
exciting
and it's nice
times
to
with
be
the Elite
back.
Serie N coming back. I don't. Are you playing
Yeah.
this year, Abhishek? I played last year, but I'm not going to play this year.
No, I think ASN. I was 2 weeks before. I was so eager to play that, but now I have too much on my plate. I don't think I can squeeze another fantasy game, especially
Sorry,
with,
David.
Yeah, but
especially.
it's so funny to me because like I assume both of you have like got better ranks than me and like ending on a high and just like I won't play again. And I'm like
No, no,
stuck in the
it's
like I'm stuck in like top 1K and you're like 100 and something and like
Oh no, I think I came top 1K, but like only just. And it was a fluke. It was an absolute fluke. I had no
it's
idea what I was doing towards the end of the season,
it's
particularly.
because
yeah.
the certain cricket tournament in our country has started, and my whole
Yes.
focus has now gone into that team
Mm.
plus
IPL.
so that fan, so I can't squeeze anymore at that. And especially with that tournament being held in India after last season, so quite a lot of cash leagues I'm in. So
Interesting.
I have to be focused on that, because plus I am also running one, I think, with my school friends. So
Wow.
I can't squeeze another fantasy game. So sorry about that. I was eager to that. I was looking forward to it because a lot of new players have signed for certain Norwegian teams, and a lot of old players have gone. So a lot of work was going to be done with David because he's our Norwegian resident guy. So, but simply I can't do anything about it. Sorry for that.
Yeah, I think it's like I think many people have like the same feeling against ESN like championship because who are all these players? So yeah,
Yeah, that is the
Yeah,
problem. It's not having the headspace to learn all the players. I think for me,
yeah,
yeah, I did enjoy it though last year, especially at the point. I think it was like
yeah.
when towards the start of the season when there wasn't the Premier League on and stuff.
yeah. That's
Um,
a good thing.
To,
It goes through summer. Like
yeah,
yeah, to be honest, it was better than the MLS one last season. So, kudos to you guys, the North Illustrian Fantasy team. They have conducted their game pretty well, unlike the MLS guys. But as you have said, this season it has changed. So hopefully,
yeah.
MLS has come to their senses about the fantasy games.
yeah,
Anyway, let's talk about Gaffer Championship because that is what we are here for this
Yep.
evening, and
Hmm.
our game week 39 team. So we'll start with you, David. How did you get on in the game week just gone? Which feels like a long time ago, even though it was only a week. But yeah, how did it go?
yeah. I almost forgot about that team, but yeah, yeah, yeah. It went very well actually, and as we'll see later, it's not like we have much separation in scores, but yeah, I could just
Yeah.
pretend like I have such a good score compared to you, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I got 86 points this week, so that was enough for a game week rank of 83,
Mm.
which is I'm very happy with even though I had like 3 players missing out and the 3 players missing out on the bench as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I have no idea how I got that many points, but yeah, it was Gibbs White, vice captain, and Solanke captain, and Adebayo with the main points.
lovely haul from Adebayo there. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I was so like salty after I sold him for no, I got him for Victor when he got like
Ah,
that 14-point haul. And that was the same game week, so I was very happy that he finally
it's kind of
uh,
reversed that, kind of evened
did
it out.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
very nice.
So that was very nice. And I've I've finally broken out of my gray arrow streak. It's so crazy. I've never ever had something like this before, because like since gaming 34, I had some red arrows from like 90th place to
Mm.
104, and then
Mm.
from gaming 35 to this week I've had 3 gray
Oh
arrows
wow,
at 113th place. And like
crazy.
one of those game weeks was like a 146-point game week, and I've still got a gray arrow. It's like what is this?
Was that game week 36 by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
brilliant.
I'm finally like inside of the 110 range and not like 113. So
Mm.
it's like it's progress, but not much.
Nice. Abhishek, how about you? How's your game week 39?
Well, similar kind of score. Also scored 86. So nothing much there. Main contributors were like David, Gibbs White, Adebayo, and Solanke. But I had Gibbs White as captain and Solanke as vice captain. Also, I had Brown from Stoke. So he has been returning nice points to me in back to back weeks. He has scored. So not quite a good 9 pointer from him. Christie, Swansea were very lucky to keep a clean sheet. I don't know how they kept a clean sheet, but they kept a clean sheet on both the halves. Plus, Christie got a performance bonus, so a nice return of 9 points. Millwall, after keeping clean sheets in what 4 5 weeks
Yeah,
continuously, the week that I suggest everyone to get Millwall players, and they concede.
good.
So,
Good stuff. I completely ignored them, to be honest, so I'm quite happy for everyone to get them and
so
them to concede.
sorry guys who have I suggested the Millwall players, but they have conceded. So, yeah, which was unexpected because Millwall didn't look good against who they played, Huddersfield, I think. Oh,
No. Who did? Oh yeah, they played Huddersfield in the midweek. Who did they play at the weekend? I've
oh,
completely forgotten now. Was it Cardiff? No.
Middlesbrough, maybe? I
Yeah,
can check.
Middlesbrough sounds right. Is it Middlesbrough?
yeah.
They played against Stoke.
Stoke. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Stoke beat them. Yeah.
You even have Brown. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Good point. He did score, but he does have double Millwall defense. To be fair, rather than just the one.
Double! What are
Yeah.
you doing, man? Finally, have some bad
Bielkowski,
luck as well. Can-
Bielkowski is the high scoring goalkeeper as of now. So
Fair.
I
Yeah.
got him late. I think I got him what 5 6 game weeks prior to game week 39. I think Millwall has been it's so that sort of a team Millwall is. They keep either they score at the odd goal and win by that, or they keep tight at the back and eke out a nil draw. So I was uh, unlike last year, I was late this year on Millwall defense, but it has been working so far for the 6 game weeks. But okay, it's fine. 3 points, but expected a bit more. But yes, and Zemura got me traditional 6 points. Apart from that, Willock was injured, which I did not knew about, so he got me nothing. And Naismith was also in. Naismith was doubt, so I didn't transfer him out. So he genuinely missed out. And hopefully, he's back after the international break. It was a knock, I think, as per Angus, the EFL fantasy pod team guy, or injury reporter, may I say. He
Yeah.
is our go-to guy in terms of injuries and stuffs. So yeah, as said by him, he should be back after the international break. So yeah, so overall, what I have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players playing on blank game week 39, so it fed me 86 points, so a good return. And I am what, overall 124th, so I am catching up to you guys.
Nice. Well, you guys both scored 86 points.
Yeah,
I also
yeah,
scored 86 points. So you all scored the
yeah.
same amount of points this week, which when I saw that, I was like, wow, okay. And we've all got quite different teams as well. Like, it's not like we're all copying each other. So, yeah, I brought in Patterson for Carvalho and stuck the vice captaincy on him, which obviously
Oh,
didn't go particularly well. But I did get Solanke emergency, so that was okay in the end. So I had 9 players because I would have had 11, but obviously Patterson missed out, and then McFadzean was a doubt for that game. An injury doubt, and he didn't play, so I had 9. Got 12 points for Bree, having benched his 13 pointer the week before, where he got an assist. This time he scored. Free kick, I think it was, and yeah, managed to get his
yeah.
haul this time. Gibbs White captain. Swift came on after like 20 minutes or something for someone who got injured. Was it Ajari or something? Can't remember who he went off.
Yeah.
What came on for, but he's now back, it looks like. And yeah, apart from that, not much else to say. Yeah, I've had on the bench, I kind of went in on Forest quite early just because I fancied it really. Like, I got Spence and Johnson in like game week 37. So obviously, yeah, had to bench those guys this week. But yeah, so it was a small green arrow up to 71st from, I think it was at 75th, 74th. So yeah, I mean, it's quite spread now, the leaderboard. So I'm feeling like this week with the big double and the boosts and stuff is probably the last real game week where big gains can be made, I feel like, unless you can really hit all your differentials on a normal week. We'll see. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we are only 7 game weeks away now from the end of the season. It's gone really, really quickly. We've had 39 game weeks and only 7 left. So yeah, we're going to talk a bit about double game week 40. Before we do, I'm just going to actually just fancy having a look at the top of the leaderboard in Gaffr and just seeing what the state of play is. So
just a side note, by the way.
Yeah.
Spencer got a 102.
Oh, okay.
Top
Yeah.
10 game week rank,
Well done, Spencer.
and he's
Absolutely
like
smashed it.
top 49, so he's doing really well for himself.
He's
Yeah.
the leader of the guys on Gaffr.
Yeah, if
pod.
you listen, you need to come on to our pod. We can't hold the fort anymore. We can't hold your fort anymore.
We
You
can't
need to
cope.
come
We
on to
can't
your.
cope.
You need to come on, man.
We miss you, Spencer. Come back. Uh, yeah, does
It's
it does
not
it
that he
count that
has.
he's won, like out of us four if he's not been on since, for months?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He hasn't.
it depends on
He
how well
hasn't.
he's doing.
He hasn't said us that I'm leaving or I here is my resignation letter. He hasn't said anything about that. Every time we
He's a
ask him,
busy guy.
"Are you coming on?" No, I'm busy. Yeah,
He's a
I will
busy guy.
come. I will come on. When is that day going to happen?
Never. Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah.
at the top of the leaderboard, so we know George from Twitter and a group chat and stuff. He is winning by that is 38 points. So
Really?
yeah, 38
Wow.
points. And there's actually quite a few people from Twitter in the top 10, which is nice to see. The guy who's in second I've only he's only really come on my radar recently, but I've seen him on Twitter lately. But also we've got Forever QPR in fourth, Flair in fifth, Alfred in sixth, FPL Mode is in ninth, and his joint team with Irons is in seventh. So yeah, lots of very familiar names from Twitter, absolutely smashing it. And then obviously, I think George finished top 10 last year, as did Alfred. So those guys have had, two very, very consistent seasons, which is good to see.
Yeah.
So we'll see who wins it. It'll be
Uh,
interesting to see who comes
we
away with the victory.
we know George quite a bit since last season, and every now and then in our group chats and said he is kind of the guy that a type of lazy guy. He always forgets about everything, but somehow he manages to
Does
be
he?
top in every fantasy game he
I
plays.
don't think he forgets
I
things.
mean,
I think he's just last. I think he just makes his decisions last minute for all his fantasy games, like really close to the deadline. I
is that
think.
a trick? I think it's a
I don't know.
trick
I don't know.
by portraying himself as a guy that is late to every fantasy deadlines. It's a trick. We ought to use that, I think, from next season, if because I think in every fantasy games he's playing, I think he has top 10 rank in every one of them,
I don't know, but he's very good. He's
especially
doing well in
yeah.
FPL, I think.
Yeah, Super League he's few far behind. So
I don't think he
yeah,
plays Super League, actually, to be fair to him,
yeah,
as far as I
no,
know.
yeah, I know.
Anyway,
Yeah, move on.
yeah, we'll see what happens. He's a really, really modest guy as well, so he will not go shouting about the fact that he's top of Gaffr, but he's a
Yeah,
lovely guy.
yeah,
And yeah, there are a couple of people.
helpful.
So Forever QPR actually has 2 boosts left, and is
Oh.
about 80 points behind. So if he can have a good boost, couple of boosts, then it's definitely not over yet. So we'll see what happens.
I think out of the top 10, the names you mentioned, top 10, I think Forever QPR has the best chance, you can say, in
I'd agree.
terms of
Yeah,
he has 2 boosts left. So, and possibly in 44 is also a double.
yeah.
By that time, he will have at least 1 boost left, if not 2.
I wonder what boost he plays in Game Week 44. Well, we'll come on to. He's played Jeepers Keepers already, but we'll come on to doubles and stuff shortly. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys in the top 10 enjoy the running. And yeah,
Yeah.
solid seasons all round.
We will see you next. We will see you in the top 10 next season, hopefully.
We'll try. We'll try our best.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Let's briefly also just talk about the playoff race because it is so tight and it is very exciting. It is so close. So we've got Luton third now. I mean, that's an incredible job that Nathan Jones has done with Luton.
Wow.
Absolutely killing it at the moment. With Huddersfield having a little bit of a blip the last couple of games. They were looking fantastic as well, but then they lost to Millwall and then they lost to Bournemouth, which is pretty much secured second spot for Bournemouth, I think. So they're on 63, Luton's on 63, Sheffield United are 5th on 61, Blackburn are on 61, Middlesbrough on 59 with only 37 played, so a couple of games in hand on Huddersfield and Blackburn. QPR 59, Forest 58, only 36 played, so 2 to 3 games in hand on most teams. Millwall 57, and then let's keep going down to Coventry 55, West Brom 54. Those teams are probably out of it unless they can win pretty much every game left. So it's really tight. It's changed a lot since, midway through the season where we saw kind of Blackburn and QPR were in the playoffs for quite a long time. Blackburn are probably going to drop out of it, and QPR have dropped out of it. Who do you guys think are going to finish in the playoffs? Which 4 teams?
I'm not even really sure because I didn't even realize Huddersfield were doing so well because no one has them in their team.
It's because they've had no doubles. They've really gone under the radar because they've had no doubles in this period. I think no one's looked at them.
Because many players have Luton and Sheffield United and maybe not so much Blackburn, but I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So but I would assume Sheffield United would be the one I would think should be there at least.
Yeah. Abhishek, what do you think? I think it's so hard to call at the moment.
I
Would love to
think
see Dykes in Premier League though. That'd be awesome.
he has to come back injury free first of all.
Yeah, or
Is he
Forest.
back?
Oh, actually, Forest would be lovely. I would love have Sinkernagel in the
Joel agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the way as of now the championship table looks 3, 4, 5. I think Luton, Huddersfield, and Sheffield United more or less secured their places in the playoffs. I think so far Blackburn and QPR has fallen out of the races, and for the past 6 to 7 games, they are not looking likely to be in contention for the playoff spot. So it's really the last spot will be between Middlesbrough and Nottingham Forest. Basically, that's what I think. So edging Nottingham Forest because of the games they have in hand, plus the kind of form they are in. So
they haven't lost a game since
do not say his
February.
name. Do not say his
So they
name.
last lost a game in last week, but it was against Liverpool. So
Yeah, that doesn't count.
last lost a league game. I think they last lost a league game against Cardiff, but at home they've been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
It's an
that
absolute
was in
fortress.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say Luton. I think Huddersfield might drop out of it because they have played 39 games and are showing signs of weakness at the moment. Blackburn, form-wise, will probably drop out of it. I'm going to say Luton, Sheffield United, Borough, and Forest. But I hope it'd be Forest. But their games in hand, 2 of their games in hand. So in fact, all their games in hand. Coventry, which I think they'll win because they're at home. I'm going to that game actually. And then Fulham away and Bournemouth away, which are obviously very tough games. But they are game week 44 and 45, I think. So if they've wrapped up promotion, it might be a bit easier, but we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And obviously, things in 2 weeks' time, we could be saying a completely different set of teams. Middlesbrough might lose 3 on the spin, and we're like, they're not going to finish in the playoffs now.
And
Forest might lose
Blackburn
3 games.
might,
Blackburn might
and
recover.
QPR,
Yeah.
QPR
QPR
can
might win 3
also
on the spin.
recover. Yeah.
Such an unpredictable league. Things change really rapidly. I mean, the way QPR were playing earlier in the season, we would have thought, they're going to finish in the playoffs, and now look where they are.
Yeah. So far we can say that Luton is looking likely to be in the playoff spot as well, along with Sheffield United. The other 2 spots is really a toss up between whoever picks up their form and whoever takes the opportunity to be really fight for the playoffs.
Imagine
I
Luton in
think.
the Premier League.
Has that ever happened before?
No, there's no. I don't think they've ever been in the top
No,
flight.
I think
Yeah.
That'd be mad.
before we were born. I think no, I don't think.
I hope it's not Sheffield United. That'd be boring. Fulham, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Been there, done that recently. Anyway, double game week 40. So the teams that have a double. I'm just bringing up the fixture ticker. Lots of teams have a double. Blackpool, Bournemouth, Coventry, Fulham, Luton, Middlesbrough, Millwall, Forest, Peterborough, Preston, QPR, Reading, Sheffield United, Stoke, Swansea, West Brom. How many teams don't double? It's only like 5. Not many.
5.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of us kind of already have like our 11 players out. What are you guys thinking boost-wise at the moment?
Goldfest. That's the
Goldfest.
only boost I've left, and that's the only boost I have kept for this double game week. I think before we get the before I think we receive what after we receive the boosts in 31. I think we get the double game week announcement for 40. I think in game week 32 or 33. By that time we were already planning for using Goldfist, especially with the double fixtures that our attacking players have. The likes of Mitrovic, Solanke really has easier run of fixtures, so makes sense there to play the Goldfist. But I have seen many fantasy managers make a case for cheaper keepers and midfield dynamos as well. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm playing Goldfist. So what you do think about the other hosts?
David, what are you planning?
I'm not sure because like when I was looking at this some weeks ago before this pod, I like thought about GP's keepers because I was looking at my team and like yeah, it's okay. It's like those players you would want for a goal fest. No, wait, I don't even have a goal fest. What am I talking about? I have I've used goal fest, and I got a gray arrow. So for me,
Okay.
it's between Jeepers Keepers and away days. No, home
Mm,
advantage, home advantage.
mm,
So for me, it's a different situation. It's
I see.
you can recognize I've not paid attention to this game for a long time. I don't even know what which boost I have. Yeah, so no, for me it's not like as clear cut because I've also used like the midfield dynamos boost
Right.
earlier. So
mm.
it's like yeah, I can only really choose from Jeepers Keepers and away days.
Yeah, it's quite tricky for
Home
you
advantage.
because
Yeah.
yeah, basically Goldfish and midfield dynamos are the preferred boosts this week. I think I have seen what 50 to 60% of managers say that they're playing, but to be honest, I have seen 20% say Jeeper keepers as well. None say home advantage.
Well, you all know my
Apart,
thoughts on home advantage. I
yeah,
really, you
of
know, I
course,
don't like
of
that
course,
boost.
of course.
Oh,
We are coming to you.
I
Of
was
course.
just looking at my team now, like uh, just looking. Yeah, oh yes, Harry Wilson and Mitrovic has 2 away games. That's decent. And just like thinking in the mindset of away days because like I'm not used to having home
Yeah.
advantage. And then I just remembered, oh yeah, no home matches for them too.
Hmm.
So that's not good at all. Ah,
Mm,
I think
I
the
feel like I have to play Jeepers Keepers, I think.
yeah, I
mm.
think so. I think, and also you don't really need to do anything to prep for that. You've probably got. Have you got 2 doubling keepers? If not, it's just one transfer in
Mm,
it.
I have yeah, that's like the difficult part because I have Rodak and Etheridge, so I'm not sure if I want to play Jeepers Keepers with Rodak because I'm not sure he will get that
Mm,
many saves.
yeah, that's
Even
tricky.
even though it's QPR and Middlesbrough who can be okay against them, but I can also see like Fulham shutting them out because they're so good. Um,
You know, you know what? I don't think that's too bad. Just because we're getting towards the end of the season, those 2 teams are playing for playoffs. So they're probably going to be playing quite attacking, try and win
yeah,
the
that's true
game.
actually. Yeah.
Maybe Middlesbrough might be a bit more defensive and they'll take the point, but at home, they're at home against Fulham. I think if there's ever a good time to play Rodak for cheapest keepers, like when he might get some saves, this actually might not be too bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point actually. So I just realistically I just need one more keeper.
Mm.
And I also have 2 free transfers
Oh,
for
cool.
once. I never had that, but I rolled the transfer in the in my the last game week, so I can also get like a defender for. I don't even know if Kane is preferred anymore, and
I think he's a
Mengi.
dangerous one to go for. I don't think because Dabo's
Yeah,
back.
I think also Mengi is like struggling because he was back and then got injured like after 30 minutes.
Right. Okay. Mm.
If Naismith is back, I just need one defender. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we just have to find out what keeper I'm going to get.
Cool. Yeah.
I think you can go for Sheffield United keeper Fotheringham
Yeah, I would need
because
I would need to have
Okay.
a
Yeah.
penalty save like Spencer did
Oh
to make it
yeah.
look good.
That was mad.
yeah,
Actually, I made the GIF for that even. It was so good.
mm,
I mean, whoever the
I think
QPR keeper is going to be as well, they've got Fulham and Sheffield United. That looks good for saves, but I'm not, if Marshall's
Yeah,
injured, it's like, I don't know.
that's funny because like we talked about this before recording, but like I was talking in the Gaffr group chat about this with Abhishek, and like I was like asking, yeah, maybe I should get Marshall, and I was injured, and like, yeah, maybe some of the subkeepers, and Abhishek just sent a GIF like, no, and just never replied, and then he comes like today with like excuses like, yeah, I was busy. And I'm just like I'm less suspicious like yeah you just don't want me to do any better than you.
so
Well, I
you
think that's
can
an option. That is an option to get a QPR keeper, but it's just like whether Marshall's back, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
it's like just one
Saves.
more keeper that's not injured for them. So yeah, I have
yeah,
no
that's the
agreement.
risk because you are playing a boost, and if your keeper doesn't play, then it does not work that way. So I think it's better you go for
Insightful, thanks.
Fotheringham.
Yeah. Come to
I
the
think
Guys
it's
and Gaffer podcast for top fantasy insight. When your player doesn't play, you don't get points. Good. Oh,
I think
amazing,
Fotheringham is a
amazing.
far better keeper than anyone. I think QPR what this is their third choice keeper that
Yeah,
will
that's
play.
true. It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
it's
Plus, with the kind
Westwood.
of form they are in, don't have any confidence in QPR so far. So I think Fotheringham is a good option. You can look at if you are not into that many safe points, then you can look at Preston goalkeeper Everson. They have a nice double game week fixture,
Yeah, but you
and
would want like the reason I was looking at QPR was because they had like the worst fixture rating in Panda's sheet and like
yeah,
Saves.
and just to get saves.
yeah,
Because,
Yeah.
I think it's good when I already have Rodak that I just don't have like two clean sheet keepers just in case no one gets saves.
I think
It's like
Lumley's a cheap option because they've got Peterborough and Fulham, so there's like a
mm,
decent one for clean sheet in Peterborough, and then Fulham for
that's
saves.
the throwback to the first set of boosts I think because I
Yeah,
think I played the Jeepers Keepers and Lumley that game is as well.
there's loads of there's actually a lot of options for keepers. I mean, Horvath. I probably wouldn't pick Horvath for Forest, just because Blackpool. I don't see that many saves. Coventry. Yeah, I don't think
you
that's the
can
best option, but like he's not awful. He's one to throw into the ring.
you can you can look at Swansea keeper as well. Who's the Swansea keeper?
Who's the Swansea keeper at the moment? Fisher.
It's probably Hamer, I think.
I don't actually know.
Hammer.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
you can look at
both expensive.
yeah you can look at Swansea keeper as well, and if
Okay.
not,
Yeah.
then you can take the Millwall keeper, who is the highest scoring goalkeeper as of now. You can take
Yeah,
him always,
but it's
Yeah.
I think it's
but he
interesting
will
because
not get any save points. That's the issue because
yeah.
Millwall has what a moderate amount of double game week. You can get save from Luton because Adebayo, the likes of Adebayo, Bree, Naismith will come back fit and they will fire. And it's also Millwall play Luton away, so that's
Mm,
Luton's home game.
Mm,
And this
mm,
season, Luton at home is a very dangerous side because then they score goals. So there will be some safe points for Biakowski,
yeah.
but against Swansea, it will be a shutout game. So you may
yeah,
get a clean sheet. Yeah,
it's
you can look at
interesting
that.
because like I'm like thinking about these save things like on a weekly basis because I'm playing playing the contrarians goalkeeper save game on Twitter because like
Cool.
when you get points for how many saves if a keeper has 6 saves you get 6 points. and like and also if you get no saves, you get 20 points. But that's like never happening. But when I'm debating who I'm going to get from a game, sometimes I'm not picking like the keepers that have the worst game, because then I'm thinking, yeah, maybe like Manchester City will get many goals, but like if every shot they have goes in or like outside of the goal, the keeper will get no saves anyway, if even if it's a hard opposition.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not necessarily the best thing to go with the bad keepers, but maybe like in an even game, will you know it'll be lots of shots, but also just like not completely run over. So who would you say are like in the middle bracket? Because I think that would be the one I would look at.
So
Would you say Bialkowski would be in that?
Mm.
I'd say so. I
Bielkowski,
think Bielkowski's a good middle
yes.
ground. Yeah.
Lumley can be in a good middle. Forderingham maybe, but Stoke at home kind of they haven't performed that well. Unlike the Stoke of old, I think what times of Chris
Yeah.
who was Pulis's Stoke side, who were very good at home, but not that much. So you can Forderingham seems to be pecking down the order in terms of middle to low end. If you look at from in the goalkeepers, so
What
yeah,
about
Biakowski, Lumley. Yeah, go on.
what about the Peterborough goalkeeper? Middlesbrough at home, Luton at home. Two teams that are in the playoff race and will be looking at that as a game to win. We won't get anything probably clean sheet wise, but saves could be there. That could be like 4 saves a game. I don't know.
Okay.
Just a
One
thought.
question. One question. Who is the Peterborough goalkeeper?
Is it Bender? I think it's Ben. Is it Bender? I think
At the moment, it's Cornell.
Cornell, not Bender.
Wow. Wow. Imagine if you take Cornell and Bender plays.
Yeah,
That would be annoying.
Cornell has played the last 4 games,
Okay,
and Benda is injured, but I don't know how
I,
for long. So
fair.
I really hate managers who rotate their keepers. I
It's
mean,
annoying, isn't it? Yeah.
why? Why?
yeah, I don't think I'm going to risk that if we don't like get maybe we get like injury news for like outfield players, but I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen like injury news for keepers that have been like out for weeks on weeks.
Yeah, fair.
It's more likely the players that we want to look at, or players that have just got injured.
Yeah,
So I don't think it will get in. If we like don't ask for it specifically from Angus, I don't think Bender News will be in the team menus this week.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh, Bender went to Swansea. That's fair.
Really?
Okay. I think. Wait, I'm confused now.
No
Or did he
way.
go the other way? No. Did he go? Wait, is he listed as Peterborough?
In the game, yes. But
Oh,
like,
sorry. I was just looking
I
at keeper
haven't-
stats and it said Swansea, but I think it's because he played for Swansea earlier in the season, then he moved to Peterborough. I think that's what happened.
Seemingly in the Gaffr website, he's orange flagged.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, Bender is listed twice, once for Peterborough, once for Swansea on this on the goalkeeper stats like website that I
okay.
just went on. Yeah, cool.
Stay away. 2 words. Stay away.
Anyway, shall we quick fire just to finish off our chat about game week 40? Go through all the teams that double and say like, if you're to transfer in one player from that team for this double game week, who would you pick? Just one player.
Yeah.
Not too much. Like fire through it quite quick. So the first one, and I'll say the fixtures for each team as well. Blackpool. They've got Forest at home, Preston away. One player from Blackpool, if you were to transfer in.
Petita.
Who?
Petita.
Ekpiteta. Okay.
Marvin Petita.
Going for a cheap defensive option. David?
I don't think I've ever owned a Blackpool player ever. So I'll just say the highest scoring one. Uh, I like it. I like his name as well, Bowler.
Yeah,
Bowler hat.
I think it has to be him. It's him or no one. I mean, he's not a bad option bowler. I don't think. I think he's been involved in
Yeah.
a lot of Blackpool
Is
goals.
there even want to get? You can get husband. That's a fun name as well.
Yeah, it is. Bowler or no one, I reckon. Yeah, Bournemouth. I mean, we could skip over Bournemouth, but they've got Bristol City at home, West Brom away. I mean, let's assume everyone's got Solanke. Someone other than
Everyone's
Solanke.
got billing. Everyone's got billing.
I don't think everyone does. I think a lot of people don't have him. I don't have him anymore.
Yeah, I would say Cantwell.
Interesting.
I would say Christie.
Yeah. I think the midfield is quite tricky because they rotate a bit, but I think I'll go Christie as well. Or Zamora. I'm not sure. Maybe Zamora. But you'll probably have at least double Bournemouth anyway, so
Yeah, I have Solanke and Billing.
cool.
Mm.
Billing has had
no,
so...
he's Danish actually. I didn't know that.
Oh, right. Okay, interesting. He's had so many yellow cards this season. It's like every time I've owned him, I feel like he gets booked every game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, who's next? Coventry. They have got Blackburn at home, Forest away.
Gordon.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I would say more maybe because he's like the most cheap nail keeper we have in the game.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you're playing Jeepers Keepers, he could be a good one.
Yeah. It's not bad for Jeepers Keepers. I'll say it's tricky. I'll say O'Hare. I feel like that will upset some people, but I do own him.
It will upset one people. One man.
See, Haim is interesting because he's doing really well. But when I looked at the heat maps, I much preferred O'Hare's heat map. But Hamer was getting the returns. It's like, is it sustainable? Is it not? I've not watched enough of Coventry to be able to comment on that, like live. So I don't really know.
Hamer is sort of a player who will get you the consistent returns of 4 to 6 points.
I was thinking he might be overperforming. I don't know at the moment.
But O'Hare is a luxury player, I think. He has a red card or a yellow card written all over him every time he plays. He's like the Grealish of Aston Villa when he was in Aston Villa, not the Manchester City Grealish, but the Aston Villa is sort of that sort of mold of player. So yeah, O'Hare is a good pick, outside differential pick, I would say.
Yeah.
The double game week.
Okay. Fulham, QPR away, Middlesbrough away. You're not allowed to say Mitrovic. Which other one would you go for?
I would say Inaki Williams.
Cool.
I would say
got a goal in him.
yeah, I would say Anton Robinson, the left back.
Interesting.
Looks like a good player, but I don't know why, but have a feeling that he will bang a couple of assists, a goal maybe.
I'll say Harry Wilson. I mean, I like Nico Williams a lot as well. I'm not going to get him because it just doesn't work for me, but I like Nico Williams a lot. But I'll say Harry Wilson because he's been looking a lot better the last few weeks, and I don't have him.
He has calmed down a bit. That's good for him.
I need to work out whether I can get him in because I don't have him at the moment. It's a bit worrying. Luton, Millwall at home, Peterborough away. That's some good fixtures.
Well, the top three guys, we all have him in there. Bree, Naismith, and Adebayo. Everybody has him. So
I don't think that's true. I think the majority have one defender, but I don't think loads. I think some people have like double and triple, but I don't think everyone. I feel like Adebayo is probably like 20-30% owned. Same with maybe Naismith.
Yeah. Out of, if you rank the players, I think Bree and Naismith, you will find first and second, close battle between them. Everybody, majority of the fantasy managers have him, I think. Adebayo, I think, yeah, as you said, 20%.
Just speaking of ownership, I know it's like the most hated thing in Abhishek's mind, but they actually are owned by a completely the same amount of people, 9.6% for both Naismith and Brie. So yeah,
How much? Sorry,
9.6%.
9.6. Interesting.
But it doesn't say if they have both or like if this is like in the top 1,000 or 100.
Yeah, I think
Mm,
that's the whole game. So it'll include quite a lot of dead teams, but
Yeah.
mm.
yeah, I think I'm going to say Adebayo just because for the attacking upside. Although Bree is obviously a great option.
Yeah, Adebayo is also for me. am itching to say Cornick, but Dan, our Luton supporter and one of the guys of the AFL Fantasy Board, he say he does not feel good about him
Mm.
as an fantasy option. So, but he has been getting returns for the past 2 to 3 weeks. But as seemingly I am taking his word, so Cornick is not an option. Wink, wink. So,
Oh,
Love
but
that.
yeah, I am also going for Adebayo as my pick for
yeah,
this game.
I would like to say if you have um, just one of them, maybe you can get another one.
Yeah,
That could
Mm,
be just get the one you don't have. I
sure.
might even do that, but there's so many other good ones that we will come to. So maybe there
mm.
are better options, but like they are so good and so cheap. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, Middlesbrough, Peterborough away, Fulham at home. It's McNair, isn't it?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, get me there.
no one
What a little,
else.
what a
He's
little.
annoying because I don't think I've ever had him in my team.
Maybe Lumley if we are playing Jeeper
Yeah,
keepers. Maybe
100%.
Lumley, but it's McNair or no Burrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like their striker spot rotates a lot as well, doesn't it? I feel like if we knew whether Sporer or Connolly was nailed, that might be a
Yeah.
good option, but they both seem to be rotating a bit. Although I'm not sure if that was that injury. I don't think it was injury.
what about Balogun?
Maybe.
He's
Yeah, I
playing.
don't know a lot
He's
about him.
playing. Looks like he's playing every game, almost at least like the last three.
Defender, right? Is he?
No,
No, no,
striker.
forward. Arsenal
Oh,
forward.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting mixed
The
up.
youngster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, could be a punt.
It's not that expensive, 7.5. But yeah, you you will get that buy before him for sure.
Sure.
Didn't Middlesbrough have a player something called Daniel or something like that? I think. Okay, move
Daniel.
on. I think I might have someone. Might.
Millwall. Millwall's next. Luton away. Swansea at home.
Mm,
Millwall are a tricky team.
Malone or Afobe, Benik Afobe. I think
Benikophobia.
he,
No, surely not. They don't score enough goals.
I think Afobe is a good striker, especially in Millwall's system. I think he makes them tick because he was missing last week in 39, and look how Millwall performed. Yeah, yeah. In
Mm.
terms of points, in terms of fantasy asset, he's not that of a good option, but
Yeah, so don't get him.
he.
This is a fantasy
It's
problem. He's
sorry,
just,
no
he's just
FOB.
yeah,
Either go for Malone or what McNamara or
yeah.
I'll say.
I
whatever
would.
Millwall
I
any
always
defender.
love a bit of Jed Wallace. He's like every time I've owned him, he's always getting something. But it's a long time
Mm.
since I had him, so maybe not. He's very expensive.
You can't see
Yeah.
the people who are listening can't see the face I'm pulling, but it's like not a fan of Wallace. Again, he's another one of those that I just don't rate as a fantasy option. But sometimes that is to my detriment. I must
Yeah, he's
admit.
always involved in something. So
Yeah, he is.
yeah,
He is. I'll say McNamara because he's nice and cheap.
yeah.
Yeah. Wallace can be another one. Murray Wallace, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing well. Forest. Um, Blackpool away, Coventry at
Hmm.
home. This is quite tricky. Because
Yeah.
I mean, normally I'd say Spence, but they've got all these defensive injuries, so I'm gonna say Brennan Johnson.
You picked the easy way out.
I mean, you can say the same. We don't have to say three different players. We can say
Mm,
the same.
Surely you can get like 3 different players at Forest. There's so many good ones.
Well, there is a question on that later, so we'll come back. Should we answer? Well, let's answer that now, shall we? There was a question on that, right? I think was it Angus? I did have a quick
What?
look at the questions earlier.
Of
yeah, I
Forest.
think it's Angus.
Yeah. He asks which 3 Forest is the best triple up. So I can answer that one quick. Johnson, uh,
I know where this is going.
Spence, yeah,
Yeah.
and
What
McKenna.
other
No,
player?
Sinky
Maybe
Bag, of course.
Norwegian guy who's moved
Norwegian.
from
He's
the Elite
Danish.
Serie N, who David
He's
quite
Danish.
likes,
What are you talking about?
who some people claim is a fraud.
Yeah.
No, no,
I can't even afford him, but I hope someone gets him so they can celebrate when he eventually scores.
I do think he's more nailed on with the injuries that they've got. Even though the defensive injuries, like I still think that makes him more nailed on, especially if they're playing a back four. But I wouldn't get him personally. Sorry, David. Who do you get, Abhishek?
well, Johnson and Spin are the top two options. For the third one, I think I might go for Garner.
Yeah,
He is looking like a really good option in both in terms of Forest playing as well as fantasy assets because he has a shot in him from the United Academy days. He really is a no nonsense midfielder. So I think, and he has started this year to produce those points as a fantasy asset. So yeah, that's my outside shout as a third option from Nottingham Forest. And I think Garner might be my transfer move this week.
interesting.
I'm not decided yet, but I think from the if I we can see from the last 2 to 3 game weeks, he has been performing really well. He might
Yeah,
be a
he's very
difference
good.
maker. Yeah.
So
So yeah.
I would have gone. I think before their injuries, I think I would have gone for a defender, maybe Lowe,
Mm.
or Worrell. But because of their
Or
injuries,
Cook.
or Cook, but probably Worrell for his aerial threat. Um,
Mm.
I I'm less sure of that because I think it's hard to know whether they're going to play a back four like they did against Liverpool, or stick to a back five. But anyway, I don't have as much faith in them defensively. So I think Garner's a great shout. I think I'd agree with that. He's very cheap. He's on all set pieces, so he's got quite a few assists. Keenan Davis, I probably wouldn't go for. I think he's not a bad option at all, but he's getting involved in more and more Forest goals recently. But I don't think it's going to be enough to go for him. And he always gets subbed off between like 65 and 80 minutes for Surridge. Every game without fail, he switches with Surridge. So he won't get 90 minutes. So yeah, I'm edging Garner, I think. Yeah.
Mm.
The Yates has been on a really good form from an attacking point of view. He's had like 4 in 5 games or something like that. But I probably wouldn't go for him. I think I'd go Garner.
How about McKenna?
He's
You
injured.
have gone. He's injured.
Yeah, he got injured in the game against QPR. I think he's out for a few weeks, which is unfortunate. That was a killer because when Cook got injured, Cook and Lowe got injured against Reading, and so Colback slotted in at left wing back, and Figueiredo's coming at centre back. So they're still able to play a back five. And then once McKenna got injured, that was a real blow because I don't like the idea of Forest playing a back four because it means like Spence has to play a more defensive role, and we know he's so good when he can play higher up the pitch. The only flip side to that is obviously Joe Lolly started against Liverpool and he looked very good, and when he came on against QPR as well. So Joe Lolly, if he can revitalise his Forest career, could be good.
They have Bong, who can play as a wing back on the left hand side, so they can play back five. But I don't think Bong is highly rated in Steve Cooper's books.
As far as I know, Forest fans really don't rate him. It's just because I think one of the games I went to in I think it might be the Luton game in December. He came on. I think Colback got sent off, and he came on, and I just heard all these mutterings in the fans around me about how bad he was. So I don't think they rate him. But they have also got Laria. He's like a Canadian wingback.
He's from the MLS. I know him.
Yeah.
He played for Toronto.
Okay, he's supposed to be really good. His best position is
really...
right wing back, so he's not getting in ahead of Spence. But there have been Forest fans kind of calling out for him to have a go at left wing back. And he seems to be quite attacking as well. I don't know that much about him, but I think he's quite highly rated.
As the English football goes, seemingly talented wingbacks are not getting a game. Case in point, Patterson of your club.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other conversation, but yeah, he should be given a go. Let's move on because we've probably talked about Forest.
I think until and unless Spence gets sold, time for Laria to shine.
Yeah,
on the back burner.
I think he's a ready-made replacement for Spence when he goes back to Borough in the summer.
I'm just wondering before we move on, why would you get Garner or Yates with the form he's in?
I don't think Yates' form is particularly sustainable. I mean, I think a couple of them are like headers from a corner. He's a central midfielder, but he's got like aerial threat from corners, which is, to be fair, works in his favour. But like one of the goals he scored was like long range outside the box. I think Yates might. I wouldn't like say definitely don't go for Yates, but I do think Garner's probably more likely to be more consistent returns wise with assists from his set pieces and stuff.
Right. Yes, listen up.
Peterborough, Middlesbrough at home, Luton at home. No one, or their keeper.
Clark Harris. You can't say no one. Clark Harris, you can say. If you're looking for a point
at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he scored a brace in the last game.
I think he has scored in the last 3 games.
Oh, has he?
My memory serves right.
I know he's.
I think
be doing okay. I'm just not sure exactly how well.
Let's see. He
didn't score against Swan.
He scored 4 goals in 3 games.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Brace against QPR. That was a shock result, by the way, beating QPR 3-1.
And 2 goals against Stoke.
Okay. Yeah. Clark Harrison.
Wow. That's very good.
Not no one at all.
Imagine when Clark Harris was every one of game week 1 draft. The hot property from League One coming form guy, but then look out. So yeah, Clark Harris can be a punt option.
Okay.
If anybody is looking at
Clark Harris on it on. Yeah, they've been doing alright, Peterborough, from a goal scoring point of view. They just need to stop conceding, which is not going to happen really. But who's next? Preston, Derby away, Blackpool at home.
It's Daniel Johnson.
Okay.
Has to be Daniel Johnson.
I'll say Everson. Boring, but you know.
Is Reece Jacobson still playing?
Oh, I don't know. Archer's first choice now. I'm just not sure for Reece. Archer, Archer could be a shout. I would say Archer if he's nailed. I would say him actually.
Yeah.
I think Reece has lost his place to Archer.
It looks like he's not in favor at the moment.
Yeah, Cameron Archer then.
Yeah, if you want a player that's pretty much nailed on to play both games, Vandenberg, but he won't get many points, I think.
No, it's Daniel Johnson. He looks like or Everson.
They're not scoring many at the moment. I think they're probably an avoid, although the fixtures aren't bad. QPR, Fulham at home, Sheffield United away. Probably another team to avoid, but
no one.
Chair or no one. I think Willock's injured still.
Chair too much of price. 7 million, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad price for Chair. I think that's alright.
7.7.
At least when QPR are in form, which obviously they are not, so that's probably an avoid.
If Willock was QPR manager, really lost Willock. I mean, playing him at wing back, consistently changing his position. He was playing so well till the midpoint of the season. Up until that, I think till December he was playing so good. Since January, by chopping and changing his position, it really has. Now he's gone out for the season.
There was
It
a
really
period when
hampered.
Chair was at AFCON actually where he did do quite well. But yeah,
Mm.
recently he's gone off the boil a bit more. Definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
So that's QPR. Unless you have anything else to add, David. But
Nah. If you want a Norwegian player, get Johansen. But yeah, why would you?
so just you.
Yeah. If you want to
Reading.
make if you want to make an all Scandinavian team now, just to have fun at the end of the season, get Johansen. But otherwise,
Fair.
don't.
Reading. Barnsley away. Stoke at home. Big game that against Barnsley. Absolutely huge game.
It's gonna.
What? Is
That game.
Joao 9.5?
Yeah, Zhao's too
What?
expensive to be honest. It's probably Swift.
How?
It's because
That's
last season he was
18.
very good. He was very good last season.
Yeah, but not 9.5 good. Really?
I think he probably was.
Last season he was 7 million, right?
I think even cheaper. I
Yeah.
think he might have started at like
Yeah.
6.5 or something. Might be wrong though.
It's mad.
Well, he did have a long-term injury. That's the thing. I actually think
Yeah.
I think 8 might have been about right, but I don't think 9.5 is crazy.
It's the same price as the West Bromwich strikers.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably Swift, isn't it? You probably get Swift, right?
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's
I still
I'm
have
just
him.
ready. I'm just ready to get rid of Swift.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have
hope we go
him. I'm
down.
not that happy about it, but I think I'm going to keep him.
Yeah, sorry, Martin.
probably Martin understands also because
So irritating.
the amount of turbulence this reading side is going on. They need a new owner, I think, to galvanize the side completely and start from scratch.
Yeah,
Because after last season, everybody was expecting at least another promotion, playoff push, at least if not promotion, but playoff push. But they have been hitting hard with those parachute payments and those bans, FFP guidelines.
yeah,
So hopefully they sort those things out and come back to the team that we used to see last season.
yeah. Well, we'll see if they survive first, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it's a huge game, as you say,
Yeah,
against
massive.
Barnsley. It's whoever wins, possibly they will be safe. I think
I think if Reading
Barnsley. I
win,
think.
they're probably okay. But if Barnsley win, it's going to be very close and very interesting. But we've got 4 more teams. Let's whip through them quickly so we can get to questions. Sheffield United, Stoke away, QPR at home. I mean, we probably all have 2, right? So Gibbs White, we've got
Gibbs White,
Sharp. Sharp's probably the best one,
Sharp,
other
I
than Gibbs White.
have Eagle.
Foderingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just looking at the list of players, there's so many injuries in defense, like more than Forest. So
Yeah, probably avoid defensively.
yeah,
Basically,
I got in Egan last week, so that was probably not the best one.
yeah. I probably wouldn't even transfer in Sharp though, if I didn't have him. To be honest, I think there's
Yeah,
better options.
I don't think he will play both the games.
He might not.
Possibly
Yeah.
making, yeah, possibly a sub appearance in one of the games. So
Hmm.
that's the caveat with him. But seemingly he is in some sort. He is in form.
Yeah. It's
Not
not a bad option.
possibly in the last 2 matches, but he is in form. So
I'm gonna bench
he
him
might take.
because I need to play. I'm playing midfield dynamo, so I've got to play 3-5-2. So I've got to bench either Solanke, Mitrovic, or Sharp. So it's going to be Sharp.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
let's move on because I think we all know the deal with Sheffield United. Stoke have got
Yeah,
Sheffield United at home, Reading away.
Brown
Nah, Baker,
or Baker.
but I
Yeah,
still feel like Baker's overperforming his stats. But
yeah, he really is. According to, he really is because in terms of price, he looks like a cheap bench option, but he is returning every bloody week.
It's annoying because I needed a midfielder and I thought about getting him, and then I looked at his like heat map and his stats and I was like, probably overperforming.
Nah.
So I didn't get him, and then he got like 2 returns in the last 2
Mm.
games.
He's also on penalties.
Yeah, true.
Really? That
Thoughts?
sounds very good.
Thoughts, David?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into Stoke assets apart from like when Smith was a deal in defense. But
Mm.
if I wanted to switch about a bit of money, like we've talked about Billing being a yellow card machine. Maybe I should get him out for Brown and just upgrade my defense.
Mm.
It could be a thing.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure Brown's that nailed though at the moment, so I'd probably say Baker because like Madger is playing up front, so I'd probably say Baker. He's probably the most nailed. That'd be good for bonus, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
2 teams left: Swansea, Cardiff away, Millwall away.
Patterson, if fit.
Yeah, I think
If
he
not-
should be fit. I think.
Yeah. If or Christie or Piro.
Christie's such a troll, honestly. Swansea is such a troll to me.
Yeah, you've been shafted
Yeah.
about all of them.
They were really lucky against who they played last week. They were really lucky, especially in the second half. Ooh, chances. Who was Swansea's goalkeeper? Hammer, I think.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was having a good day at the office.
So Patterson or Christie then.
Yep.
Finally, West Brom, Birmingham away, Bournemouth at home. No one.
No. Yep. Maybe as Steve Bruce is there, so I don't think they have improved defensively that much. But Townsend can be still an option.
Yeah, I mean he's not a bad option, but then-
Is Adam Rich red carded or he's
know.
eligible to play?
I'm not sure.
It's so crazy that we had like the double up of West Brom early this season and just they like fallen off a cliff both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been dreadful recently.
Yeah. Just to go back on Swansea, it's not the Heimer that's playing, it's Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know. So yeah, probably avoid West Brom. Right, let's get through these questions. We've got some questions that you guys have sent in, so let's do those before we finish.
Yeah. Let's see which we start with. It's one question from Barry Johnson. Top 10 game week 40 midfield dynamos.
10.
10, that's much. Maybe like top 3.
Yeah.
5.
Should we
Like
say
players
should we say
who-
2
players
each?
who-
Let's say 2 each.
Yeah.
2 different ones each. Who wants to go first?
You go first.
Me.
Yeah.
I will say Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson. Then I'll go for the easy ones.
Oh, okay, let's say Gibbs White and Baker then.
Cool.
Yeah, Daniel Johnson and which other midfielder I have in my team? Maybe Brown.
I don't like Brown as a shout. I really don't.
It's
Just
good
because he's
because
not he's just not nailed.
It's good that I get the points and you don't.
He's not nailed. He's not nailed, mate.
If not, then either Wilson
No,
or Wells,
someone
as
else.
David shouted.
Someone
Wells,
Okay.
Naki Wells,
Oh, Aki Wells.
Naki Wells. Oh, who
He's
is
a
the
striker.
Islam guy? Cabano. Sorry.
Cabano. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, but there's quite a lot of options. Like Swift's an option, Patterson's an option. I'm surprised Patterson hasn't been mentioned. I think he's a good option. Yeah, there's quite a few good options.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can,
and if
we,
you're-
yeah,
Before we move on, if you're not looking at going double game week, single game week also, Bassi can be an option. Bristol
Yeah,
City.
Yeah, he's going to be on my bench. He's yeah, he got some returns for me, so he's a good player.
Bassi
yeah,
played for
don't mind it.
Barnsley, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he I
Sorry.
got the shout from the EFL pod guys. So yeah,
Mhm,
nice shout from them.
yeah, it
mhm.
was very good.
Yeah.
Bassi can. And yeah, go on.
We can move about to the. There's two questions about differentials here. One from FPL Glasto. He is saying, all my players have 2 games this week, but I have 2 free transfers. Suggestions for the best differential mid defender forward. And Billy Hadaway is asking, best differential shots for the rest of the season. So yeah, it's same category but different phrasing.
I have a striker that I haven't decided what my moves are yet, but I may transfer him in to bench and then have for the rest of the season. Fixtures in the immediate short term aren't great, but Danny Ward, Huddersfield. We were talking about Huddersfield not being on people's radar because of the lack of doubles. He's a very cheap striker. I think it's like 5.7-ish.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm considering getting him for Sharp. If I need to get to Harry Wilson and do an upgrade, I'm thinking of doing Sharp to Ward to fund that. So that's who I would say.
Just benching.
He has a single game, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, but I would bench him. But yeah, anyway, like obviously he doesn't have a double this week, but yeah, if we're going for like rest of the season, I'd say him.
Yeah.
Mm. For me, I think Gordon looks like a option in forward. In terms of defense, I'm going Huddersfield Toffolo. He is really looking good, and Huddersfield also. Yeah, against Bournemouth, it was yeah, Bournemouth has fired before last week. They haven't been able to fire that much, but against Huddersfield, we came to know what we expect from Bournemouth. That attack, attack, attack. Finally, Scott Parker lose his breaks his place from the shackles. That no, it's go on all out attack, no nonsense defending first. So it was good to see. I don't think I hope that it continues so that the likes of Solanke performs for us, especially in Goalfest. But yeah, so Toffolo can be an option in defense,
I like Toffolo. That's a good
midfield.
shout. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and in midfield, I think Bassi. Even though you guys are saying that you guys will bench him, possibly you're right because he's having a single game week, but I think he has done enough at least to for the next 5 what Barnsley have.
They
I
double
think
in
what
44 and they have some decent fixtures. Reading, obviously,
yeah,
this week, but you might bench him. And then they've
Reading,
got Peterborough,
Millwall, Swansea,
Swansea.
Peterborough. So
Yeah,
yeah, so those three are my
I like that.
differentials. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to add to that, but like I'm just looking at who's owning who at the moment, and Cabano is very very lowly owned, so he's playing well for the best team in the league, maybe.
Yeah,
So
that's
he
a
could
good
be
shout.
one. He's not like
Mm,
super expensive. So if you had like 6.9 mid in at Liverpool or like something, you would definitely get him. So
mm.
Yeah, I mean, I've owned him a lot recently. I sold him fairly recently, but he hasn't done that well for me like the last few weeks. I don't know. And he might not start both games. Reed might play one. But yeah, certainly, if he starts both, I do think he's potentially, yeah, definitely a good option at
if
that
you
price.
can't get to Wilson, it's
Yeah.
Peter Schultz, I think. Yeah, I think we have covered the differential part now. I'm just looking at the other questions here. We have two boost concerned questions here. Can just read them. Philip Trainer is asking, which boosts is best for Gaming 40, Home Advantage or Midfield Animals? I already used Goalfest and planned Jewish Keepers on another double game week, so he has 2 boosts left. My team currently has 5 midfield doublers with 1 home and 1 away feature. So I think he's weighing up if he should use home advantage for those mids or midfield animals, and I think there's just one answer here.
Yeah, I think he has answered his question himself by
Yeah,
saying the last line that he has 5 midfield doublers with one home and one away. So it's basically midfield dynamos is the play here,
Let me
rather than
just
home
find. I'm
advantage.
just going to find a photo that I took a while ago when I did a bit of. I looked into this for game week 36, and just to explain it a bit more. I
Mm.
mean, I did this when I did this. It was based off of the assumption that you had 14 doublers at home. Sorry, 14 home fixtures because a lot of people had 11 at home and 3 Sheffield United, who had 2 home
Mm.
games. Now, I think it's
Mm.
unlikely you're going to have 14 home fixtures this week unless you've got Peterborough in your team. Does anyone else have 2
Yeah.
home? I don't think anyone else does, do they?
No. Apart from Peterborough, I think
So,
everyone has one home, one away.
yeah. So, if you have 11 doublers and they have 1 home game each, that would
Mm.
be a total of. Let me just do the maths. That would be 27 and a half games in your squad because you've also got a. So it's the 22, so 11 times 2, plus 11 times a
Mm.
half, the half you gain.
Half.
So 27 and a half. You don't get captaincy. If you have midfield dynamos, if you have 5 doublers, you get
Mm.
22 for having 11 doublers plus 10. So because you get each of the midfielders for an extra multiplier of ×1, but for both games because you get. So it's basically you've got your midfield, you've got your whole squad, but like if you look at those midfielders, for example, they get an extra half points for just 5 for just one of their 2 games. But for midfield dynamos, you get ×1 multiplier, so which is better than the times half for both their games. So you're looking at actually overall like 4.5 more games playing midfield dynamos. So playing midfield dynamos.
Next question is from FPL Forest or NFFC underscore FPL. Might be guessing he's a Forest fan, maybe. Yeah. I'll just look this by Nottingham Forest is my haven. Let's go. He is asking, I still have 1 ship used left. Is it worth saving it for an underhaul before double game week 44? The pool hasn't been kind for the last 15 matches, and the no captain multiplayer chips aren't doing it for me when Solanke and Mitris are on fire. The chips I've used already are Jeepers Keepers and Gold Fest, I think.
So is he saying? Wait, did he say underhaul 44 or?
Before
Oh.
double game week on 44, so maybe it's like playing it this week. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be a fan of the no captain multipliers, so maybe that's why. He has only 1 chip left, so maybe he's like preparing for 44 and using underhaul this week to get a good team this week.
I'm going to get the question up just so I can see exactly what it means.
Is it underhaul or overall?
Oh,
It is just-
overhaul. Sorry.
Oh, overhaul, that changes things.
Yeah.
I think you're going to gain more from playing a points-based boost than playing an overhaul ahead of 44. You would basically, I wouldn't expect Mitrovic and Solanke captaincies like on their own to make up the points that you would have lost if you'd have played a points. Sorry, to make up the points. If you play overhaul, the points you lose from not playing a points scoring boost this week, I don't think they'll make up with their captaincy this week. So I probably would say don't play overhaul. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's tricky. It's not clear cut.
Considering he says that he has used Jeeper Keepers and Goldfist, so if he has used Jeeper Keepers and Goldfist, then it does not make any sense to play an overall before the double game week 44. Yeah, assuming he's saying that he wants to not lose out on captaincy and vice captaincy points, but it and double game week 44, you can't predict that Mitrovic and Solanke will score you that many points. It may be ahead before the game week. So even if you overall into a team, but you and but everyone is playing goal fest and you are playing overhaul and you are getting, let's say Mitrovic and Solanke scores a goal
Yeah.
each in double game week 40, then in terms of goal fest the return will be huge, whereas in terms of overall captaincy returns, what?
Yeah, I think if Fulham and Bournemouth weren't doubling in 44, there'd be more of a case for overhaul. But because you probably basically, if you're playing overhaul ahead of 44, you're going to be kind of hoping to get a much better team than a lot of your people who don't play overhaul. But I think with Fulham and Bournemouth doubling and Forest, who a lot of people will be targeting for this week anyway, a lot of the field will already be on at least 6 or 7 players who double in 44 anyway, and we'll be able to quite easily get up to close to 11
Mm,
and good single game week fixtures if they don't have the full 11. So I don't see a gain in overhaul particularly.
yeah.
David, anything to add? Any thoughts?
Yeah, my reason for using overhaul would be either if you have 2 boosts left and you're setting up for the last boost, which would make sense, or that you have like some players you think will outscore the players that most people have,
Mm,
and with the season closing in and we are knowing like which players who are doing well at the moment, I don't think you will gain enough edge to warrant overhaul compared to like a points boost. I think you can
mm,
get like as you probably will have like the template, let's call it that, players you will not need so many transfers from. After all, you have 4 transfers after game week 40 to get
mm,
prepared
Yeah,
for game week 44. So I would assume like you, if you have those 6 players we just talked about, you have 4 transfers to get to 10 already.
mm,
yeah,
So I think
mm,
uh, booking in overhaul so early would like maybe you're looking at potential points in another game
mm.
week to like counter the meta at the moment, but I think you're like looking away from points that can be had right now, and I think that's
yeah.
points boosting chip is like the at least safer way to play it. But yeah,
I'm with
it
you.
depends on how you want to play, basically.
Yeah.
I think I agree with
And
you. I even think
also,
it's worth taking an extra hit to get a good midfield dynamos if necessary.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also in 44, Fulham and Bournemouth play each other.
True.
So if by that time their promotion is confirmed, they will play for a nil-nil draw. So you're not getting any points. Let's say you are getting a one game where Bournemouth faces Swansea and Fulham faces whom? Nottingham Forest. It's a tricky one for Fulham as well because Nottingham Forest are chasing for promotion by that time, for
Yeah.
playoff promotion or promotion, whatever may be the case. So it might not be a better Fulham. Mitrovic might not score any goal in both of his games, so you will
Good
not
point.
get captaincy points anyway. So why risk it to specially prepare for double game week 44 when you can take hit transfers, and hit transfers pays you well in Gaffr. It's
I think that's a very good point. I think I agree with you there. Game week 44 is a lot more likely to go wrong for those reasons that you stated. There's kind of more likely to be dead rubber games or tricky games for Fulham and Bournemouth. Yeah,
yeah.
so that probably plays.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah,
Next question.
we have a question from All About the EFL, and he's asking best strategy for first-time players. And I assume maybe this is looking at the next season because the season right now is closing out. But
Yeah.
first thing I would say is listen to pods. Hey,
Yeah.
hello. Listen to us and EFL, and yeah, just get info because that's the what gives you an edge in this league. Because many of those playing, including many of us who have pods, are unfamiliar with lots of new faces from promoted teams, and yeah,
Mm,
we tend to pick like players that come from down from the Premier League rather than like cheap players that are good. So if you already know about those players, before playing for the first time, I think you can have an edge over other first-time players. So yeah, information is key.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing to note is the picture will look very different at the start of the next season compared to now. Like the players will be picking and stuff because obviously new teams will come down from the Premier League. So it is just a little bit of research, and the EFL Fantasy Pod is a massive recommend just because of the football knowledge that those guys have. They have years of watching the Championship kind of under their belts. Whereas, like for me, like this is only really my second season where I followed the Championship really closely. So, like, if you want the best knowledge, go to those guys. But
Yeah.
yeah,
To be honest, mm, we four, whatever we four are doing well in terms of the if we are if we are comparing pod to pod fantasy points wise, then we are doing well. So it's
yeah. Football knowledge and
so
fantasy football skill are a different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you really want to see, if you really want strategy for fantasy wise, then watch us. If you really want to know about players, what best players,
Okay.
then yeah.
Oh wow, he coming with the microbes and stuff. Wow, I like it.
Wow, love that.
Oh,
And
the wrestling Thursday night is back.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I do
so
like to look at the boosts in a lot of detail. That's what we sometimes often
yeah,
do here, and
so
I like
but
you got to
yeah,
give the boosts thought because of the
yeah,
upside with those.
Yeah, we're like
yeah,
complementing each other, I would say.
Yes,
yeah.
So
yes,
listen
I
to us
agree.
both.
Yeah,
Good
plus
question.
Angus, the members of one of the member
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Of
AFL
yeah.
Fantasy Pod,
course.
he really does. He is our injury expert. So whatever injury related issues you have, which player is playing or not, he is on in the know. He,
Yeah.
so
Of course, that
you
is the
have
number
to
one
follow.
top tip. Number one top
Yeah,
tip for any new Gaffer player: follow Angus before you make your transfers. Before every deadline,
yes. Before you
check
lock
his
your team.
page. He's put
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
team news and injury news that he could glean from the press conferences.
Yeah, and for those
Check
who
that.
don't know actually
Sorted.
who he is, he's at this Angus81.
Yeah,
So follow him and turn on notifications. Definitely.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's enough for that one. I'm just looking and seeing which questions we have left, and I think we've almost answered everyone apart from two. And since we have gone so long, Man on Pod Thomas managed to slip in one question at the end.
Yeah, nice of
And
him.
yeah,
I
and
saw this before.
it's not an easy question as well. We talked about this already, but today. But he is asking, can you please each explain your views on this topic? And he has included a screenshot that says, "Is it ever okay to support two football teams?" And I think we can start with you, Abhishek, because you had some interesting thoughts about this. Let's keep it short.
Yeah, yeah. In short, it's okay to support two football teams, but you have to find the balance which club pulls you the most. For example, like me, I support United and Barcelona from La Liga, but United pulls me more than Barcelona because of it runs in my household, it runs in my blood. I it's because my father, my grandfather, my brother, everyone supports, so it runs in the household. So
Which
naturally,
United?
I am yeah,
Sheffield?
Manchester United. No, it's Manchester United. No other
Yeah.
United. Not even Newcastle United. Sorry,
Oh,
Steve. But yeah, it's Manchester United. But I do. It's okay to support two football teams because in this day and age, everyone we grew up watching different football, different leagues, unlike previous years. Because we, at least I grew up watching three different leagues, so it was really hard for me to nail down one team who I can support because I love watching football, and every now and then I tend to watch different kinds of football, be it the be it Bundesliga, La Liga. I don't get to watch League One, but especially after PSG. after PSG, nobody really fancies any team other than PSG in League One. So that becomes kind of boring league. Seemingly, Bayern Munich was like that, but this season Bundesliga really has been competitive. So it's good watch. Apart from the Premier League and La Liga, after Real Madrid and Barcelona bossing it over 2 decades, I think. This season there are different teams coming up, the likes of Sevilla, Real Sociedad, Villarreal. They're looking very good, so it's okay
But
to
would you
support the
would
football.
you say you are like a general football fan because you like follow so many things, or just like one club? Because I think when regarding to myself and like many other Norwegians, uh, we tend to look like to the best leagues in the world, especially in English Premier League, because
Mm,
our own domestic leagues are kind of not good
mm.
comparatively, and like we almost act as like we are living in Manchester or in Liverpool,
Yeah,
and just like are even more dedicated than some probably people living in the city that doesn't follow the
yeah,
football as much.
it's yeah, it's because we live outside England, we tend to have this sort of dilemma. The ones that are living in England, they have their home teams. I live in a different country, so I have a different home team, which I support in India. That's not going to change. So in a way, I support three football teams. You
Yeah.
can see one from my hometown,
Uh,
one my adopted hometown. You can say two adopted hometowns I can support. But so it's a way. It's like that for us who live outside England, especially. So it's going to be like that. It can't move away from that. So yeah, literally, it's if you basically what it shows us that if we are passionate fans of football, so if we watch good football, we tend to support these teams. But die-hard supporting, it has to be one team. You can't support two teams die hard wholeheartedly, unlike some people that support half and half, 50-50. So
Can I weigh in as our resident Brit on the pod?
Go
of
on.
So
course,
I
of
reckon my
course.
opinion is, yes, you can support two teams, but one of them should be a local team.
Hmm.
Now, some would say, and this has been said in the debate already, like the local team should be like a non-league team, which I understand, I completely understand, and like proximity league
Hmm.
across the pyramid, it does make sense if
Hmm.
it's like a local non-league team. Obviously, as you've probably gathered, like since moving to Nottingham, I've been to a few Forest games, mostly because I'm into the Championship, and I would say I've enjoyed it so much that I probably do support Forest now as well as Everton. But
Yeah.
Everton, I cannot leave behind. I've supported them all my life. Doesn't matter how bad it gets. It wouldn't be very loyal of me to stop supporting them. Um, yeah, and I do wonder though if Forest were in the Premier League, whether I would, and I was started going to some Forest games, whether I would support them. I feel like I would be less likely to support them if they're in the Premier League because just quite simply because they're in the Premier League.
Hmm.
Um, and directly competing with Everton, which they could be next season, one way or the other, in the Championship or the Premier League. Who knows? So that if they do end up in the same league, it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see kind of what happens there in terms of Forest, whether I support Forest less
Yeah.
or the same. But yes, I do. I do think, as from a British point of view, you can support two teams as long as one of them is
Hmm.
local to you, because
But
that just makes sense because you
but
can go and see them more
but
often. And
yeah, but let's say in the same team, your two supported football teams are there. Isn't that whoever plays well, you support them, you get pulled towards them? Because after all, we are football fans. We came to see proper good football. If you're supposedly, let's
no,
say let's say Everton is playing Nottingham Forest in next year's Premier League, let's say, and Nottingham Forest is bossing the game and they are leading by 2-0, will you still be eager to say that, yeah, come on Everton, score those two goals and equalize and get a point? Or you say that no, Forest is the better side among these two, and I need to change my allegiance towards him.
No, I think in that situation I have to support Everton 100%. As the team I've supported all my life.
Yeah.
It's just, but like if Everton lost that game, the blow would be lessened. Considering I like
It's
Forest
almost
too.
like those players that go to another club that's been like uh, at the club their whole career, and just like when they score, they're like, sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
You just have to pay your respects to the ones you have
Yeah,
stuck with longest.
yeah.
So I would say the safest thing is just like to pick two clubs, if you're picking two clubs that will never ever meet, like
yeah,
me, because I'm following
Yeah,
Strelkos of Norway, who's like struggling to stay mid-table,
yeah.
and Bayern Munich, so they will never ever meet, unless it's like a crazy
Mm.
friendly thing. So
That's the
I'm
best way of
safe.
doing it. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm safe in that department. But
I should be a Notts
I,
County fan, but I was more interested in watching the Championship. Sorry. So,
yeah, I wish I was supporting an English clubs, because like everyone I know supports an English club, so I would have like some kind of rivalry and something. But yeah, I'm paying more attention to Norwegian football anyway,
yeah,
and that's the games I'm watching live. So
as
for
it
me, it's
should
okay.
be. It's your own country's domestic league, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah,
Okay.
there's probably someone that's very not in the same boat as us, but that's our opinion. So deal with it. And we have one final question from Steve Bird, our loyal
Hey,
listener, and
Steve.
Hey, Steve.
yeah, hi Steve. Uh, and he has asked a very funny question, and
Mm.
he says, three cats walk into a bar, all well fed and just seeking a good afternoon. What do you
Mm.
suggest they do? P.S. They have already listened to your pod and selected all their fantasy football teams.
Don't know what on earth to say to that question.
So let's say you
Pro-
start then.
Probably have to see that whether Mitrovic scored a hat trick on a Captain Fantastic chip, or a goldfish chip.
Well, I'm
Nice.
allergic to cats, so I mean, if they want to make me suffer for some reason, then they could come and jump all over me and make me sneeze and just stream.
Yeah, I would assume like if they're going to a bar, it depends on which type of bar it is, because like uh, since they've just listened to our pod and like are into those kinds of things, I like picture them walking into a literal bar and like getting concussions and stuff, and just having to go to the ER and stuff. So
But
either they are yeah, dad jokes, hashtag funny. Yeah, uh, but
hilarious. It's just hilarious.
if they're going to have a good afternoon, I would just think if they're going to actual bar, I think they would just go to
Mm.
the bar and just order three glasses of
Yeah.
milk, having a good time, and watching Nottingham Forest smash Everton next year in the championship.
To be fair,
Sure.
after listening to our pod, they wouldn't want to go to a bar. They would like to have, they would like to listen to our new episodes more. So why will they go to a bar to give sound advices?
Yeah, questionable, questionable. Yeah.
Thanks for that. We can always count on you, Steve, for very interesting questions. So cheers.
Yes.
Let's finish off very quickly. 1 minute each. What are your plans slash thoughts as it stands for next game week?
Yeah, I can go first.
Go on, David.
After this talking to you guys, I think I'm going to get Bialkowski for Etheridge, playing cheapest keepers, and using my
See,
second transfer and maybe a hit to get some defenders.
Cool.
see, I helped you. You can't
Yeah,
say that I ignored you. You can't
yeah,
say that I ignored you anymore.
yeah, you have convinced me. Thanks, man. That's what the
Fantastic.
pods are for. Let's go.
Yeah.
Abhishek, go.
Yeah, so one move that I'm willing to make is maybe get another double because Willock is out, so I need a replacement. As I'm playing Goldfist, I need a goal scoring midfielder. So possibly maybe I look into Patterson if he's fit, or I think maybe Wilson or Cabano. because Fulham has a nice double game week. And as of apart from that, I don't think I will make much change. With I have a pretty settled team, and I think Goldfist will fetch me nice chunk of points with the attacking six I have, plus whatever Naismith, Christie, Zemura gives me in terms of possibly if Naismith scores a belter of a free kick like Brie, then I will be jumping up and down.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, that's it.
And as for me, I'm on midfield dynamos. My midfield is currently Swift, Brennan Johnson, Patterson, O'Hare, and Gibbs White. I need to decide whether I get myself up to Wilson. If I'm going to do it in a -4, I think I can do it in a -4 from Sharp to Ward, Swift to Wilson. I think I'm slightly leaning in that direction. But there's another. If Patterson's not fit, I'd probably get rid of him. Could also get rid of O'Hare. But if I do, those are likely to require a -8. But everyone else does double in my team. So that's my thoughts. But I am a long way off having decided on that. And with that, that draws our latest episode to a close. So thank you very much for listening. One quick little announcement is that what we are thinking, we will have to have a think and reflect on what things will look like next season. But one of the things we are thinking of doing is getting guests on in pre-season, just have a chat to meet some other Gaffr managers. So we haven't, we've only got in contact with one person so far for this, who may actually come on before the season ends. And just, we will get in contact with some people. But if anyone actually particularly wants to come on the pod and be quite an informal chat, I guess, in pre-season, do get in touch.
Just hang out with us for couple of 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
More than welcome to come.
So yeah, if you think that might be something you fancy doing, do let us know. And yeah, hope you all enjoy the run-in, the last few game weeks of the season. Hope you achieve whatever targets you are setting out. And yeah, have a great week, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.